PlayStation State of Play announced for tomorrow. Interesting timing. Interesting timing. Now, of course, I was away when this apparently PlayStation Network was down for over 24 hours. Am I right about that? Was it 24 hours?
I think so.
I know something about that. Yeah,
I know, Craig. I know you guys covered it on Side Scrollers, and I think you did a video on it. So, what did we learn about what is their explanation to why the PlayStation Network was down for 24 hours?
It was just a very generic like infrastructure thing. It was really okay. So what happened right before this was PlayStation fired a lot of people, right? And the conspiracy is that some of those people may have flipped a switch on the way out and been like, hey,
pull the plug, pull a couple plugs on the way out.
Exactly. And so it was down for over 24 hours. And, they offered up a five full days of free PlayStation Plus, which, as Blaz pointed out on the show, it's like, okay, how does that work? You have an annual subscription. You have a monthly subscription. Is it tacked on at the end? Does it start right now? When did these 5 free days start? And is five days enough in a situation like this, which I personally don't think it is.
Not at all.
So
how does that, let me ask, how does that practically affects the user on that day? What happened to the average person playing PlayStation on that day?
They can't play online.
Yes, they couldn't.
You cannot play anything online related.
Correct.
Nothing. You imagine that being your day off? Like, imagine you have like a 6-day work week, and the only thing you're looking forward to is like, man, I'm gonna have this day off, and I'm just gonna lay around. I'm gonna eat.
Can you
Doritos
download
and play
games?
PlayStation? I don't think you can do anything.
You couldn't. I also heard that some people with physical discs went to go put their discs in, and they needed an update or a check-in, and they couldn't play their discs either.
That's always the case. Physical media is already dead because you cannot play even physical discs without an internet connection.
That's pretty much it. It went down for 24, about 26, 27, 28 hours, something like that. People freaked out. And the thing about it is their messaging was there's an issue. And then they pretty much went silent. And then they're like, issues resolved. Here's 5 days. So there was very little communication between the beginning of it happening and the actual end of it. So, the communication was really poor on PlayStation's part.
Yeah, I saw the reports all day long, and of course we were busy. What day was that? Was it Friday? Was it Saturday? What was it?
For what?
When it went down. So that was a busy day for us.
Friday night, Saturday, like Friday, Saturday.
And so, Mike, you were talking about it a little bit about some of the reasoning they gave, or some of the speculation as to why it happened. What have you heard?
I don't really know for sure. There's just a lot of different theories as to what was actually happening. That one of the rumors is that they got hacked again, and that the hack was really bad, and they didn't want people to know about it, so they just shut the whole thing down. Which, I mean, we've seen them get hacked before and talk about it. So if it was that bad, chances are it was probably a lot worse than we realize. And so there's a lot of different reasons for it, but my guess is probably that they got hacked again and they don't want anybody to know. That would be my likely go-to. Go ahead.
And that's the issue, is that there's been so little transparency, especially coming off of, this was 14 years ago now. In 2011, there was a massive data breach, and I think it was like 33 million people had their data broken from PlayStation Network. It was millions and millions of people, and they didn't tell anybody until later. And so if there was some sort, now they've said there was no data breach. That's what they've said publicly, but you never know in a situation like this. And coming off of this was a decade and a half ago now already, when this last data breach happened, that was massive and, really was catastrophic at the time. You would think they'd be a little more forthcoming with information this time around, and they have not. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of reason for people to be super critical of them in a situation like this, and not transparent.
And now we have this surprise announcement of a state of play, and it's going to be 40 minutes of PlayStation 5 games. We have no further details at the time of us recording this video that I'm aware of. Do we think that this is connected to? Yeah,
for sure.
They clearly. Well, one thing I'll say is, they clearly had a state of play scheduled for some time in this near future. did they maybe bump it up a month or a couple of weeks?
They want to generate new
You know,
conversations.
Yes, exactly. And I think that
Yeah.
100% is the case.
Yeah,
Craig,
absolutely.
Dan or Craig, whoever, you can fight over it.
No, I 100% agree. I think that they may have bumped. This may have been 3 weeks early, a month early, whatever it is. But they're like, well, we got a little egg on our face now. Let's make them happy by showing them brand new games.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's all distraction. Listen, if there's one thing we've learned over the last few weeks from the presidency is that everything is fake and it's all a big show, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with all these giant corporations. It's all fake. It's all look here. It's all sleight of hand. It's all nonsense. Sorry, I've gotten a little black pilled lately.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dan.
No, obviously this sucks. Just the fact that, as Jeremy said, imagine a guy that was waiting for just for an off day to play some Call of Duty or Fortnite. But I also want to bring the perspective. I think this is gravely concerning, having to perspective game preservation, thinking about the future. You guys know I'm a huge fan of retro games and game preservation. So this is hugely concerning regarding the future of game preservation, because if your connection with PlayStation, the PlayStation Online stuff is off and you cannot play your physical games, that means when that stuff ends, those games are gone. Yes. Those games are completely gone, and you depend on those people's goodwill and favors to preserve those games. Those games will only be preserved if they keep them in the whatever it is their newest console online service. So
right,
this is hugely concerning.
Well, so here's what we have. The broadcast will be more than 40 minutes long and delivered in both English and Japanese languages through the official PlayStation YouTube and Twitch channels. While no details have been yet given on what games to expect, there are several PlayStation big hitters that we'd love to know more about. Ghost of Yotei, Death Stranding 2. There's speculation that we could get some announcement, for I heard I'm not saying this was like heavy speculation. I heard some people going, wonder if there's a new God of War they're going to announce. That would absolutely shift the narrative around if there's a God of War announced. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that there's going to be any legitimate games announced, or do you think this is just going to be another kind of paint by the numbers, generic state of play?
Here's my thought. Smart companies, Disney does it, like all these multimedia companies do it. They keep trailers, things that are ready to go in their back pocket. So then they need good PR. They can drop news. They can have little nuggets of things that they can say, hey, by the way, did you know? This is Sony. Okay. This is a company that not only has been hacked multiple times, but also we've seen how many times where their emails and their leadership emails have been leaked and they come up with the most god awful ideas and the most terrible concepts for games and movies and television. I would love for Sony to have been smart enough to go, hey, you know what? Let's announce a new God of War and let's announce all this cool stuff. I don't think they're going to have anything ready at all. I think that this is going to be a very boring state of play, and I think most people are going to walk away going, that's it? That's all you had to distract us from what's going on? That's my personal thought on the matter. Am I a Sony hater? Absolutely. But also, they just fucking went down for 26 hours. Microsoft didn't do that, so that's all I'm saying.
Well, I don't disagree. Kit, tell me this. Now, regardless of the fact that I'm a fan of Nintendo, Nintendo Direct actually is something that people look forward to. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean everyone's a home run, but more often than not, Nintendo Directs usually deliver. I can't remember the last time a state of play actually did blow the internet up. Am I wrong about that? Maybe I'm oblivious to it, but no, I don't recall the state of play ever being something that is just like, holy shit, that was the best state of play that blew our minds. I don't remember.
It's very generic. It's definitely not as big as a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I just don't. Maybe it's because things leak out in advance, or maybe they want to announce them at, Jeff Keighley's award show that Craig is going to destroy. I don't know.
That ain't gonna happen.
But
they're not gonna announce anything on my award show. I promise you that.
But yeah, I just don't remember the last time a state of play turned to the needle and actually got a big discussion going on. So why do we expect it to happen now? None of us actually do. So guess we'll see. What are your thoughts, PlayStation fanboy Beardo?
You're more of a fanboy than I am. I'm kind of with Mike on this. I think if they're pushing this up and they're doing like an emergency state of play, I think that I would be very surprised if they have anything worth sharing, anything new on the slate that they have in their back pocket to show, especially when this is just being, thrown upon us right now. It's for this state of play that's going to happen tomorrow. I would love to maybe see if we get, I don't think that they would announce a God of War, like a new entry to the God of War series, but if they're going to do anything that's like surprising, maybe God of War like remastered, like 1 through 3 remastered for next gen
for the second time.
Well,
that would be awesome because we still need the PS3 to play those remasters.
you can play God of War 3 on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5.
Yeah, but the 1 and 2
two
remastered.
Yeah, the 1 and 2 you have to play it on a PlayStation 3. So,
or you be a man and play it on the PS2 with a CRT
and play it on the OG. Yeah.
What if they announced, not as a headliner, but if they did announce Master Chief Collection officially for the PlayStation 5, that would get people
what
talking.
If they just announce only Xbox games? PlayStation State of Play. They're like, we got Gears of War.
Gears of War, Halo, Fable.
Forza, guys.
Yeah.
That would be pretty funny if
that would be
happened.
something, yeah. But I think they probably had something saved. But yeah, absolutely, they're doing this to generate a new buzz, new conversations. Yeah, they're probably going to talk about Metal Gear Solid Delta.
Yes,
as well.
Yes,
Likely.
yes,
Yeah.
they will. Yeah, they certainly will.
Somebody said Wolverine. Here's the thing: the whole game has been leaked online. Like, unless they completely changed the whole story, what are they going to surprise people with? Like gameplay is leaked online, like the code has leaked online.
Very unfinished. Very early stages have been leaked.
But
If they're going to show anything for Wolverine, it would be a new trailer.
I just don't know that they have anything to surprise anybody with the whole plot leaked on the internet. I mean, that's
One thing
possible.
about Nintendo is their stuff never leaks.
No.
Oh yeah,
Never ever.
never. It's never happened.
We never saw the Nintendo Switch 2 leak.
The reason it doesn't
system.
leak is because like Nintendo will refuse to acknowledge it. Like the entire system could be in a guy's hands and he's showing you how it works. Nintendo's like, that's not ours.
Yeah,
I don't know
what
what
would-
it is.
What was that? Fucking what's that Shaggy song back in the day?
Oh,
me?
wasn't me. Yeah.
That's Nintendo. Wasn't me. That's not our system. That's
That's
literally
not
our
our system. That's not me. And then 1 week later, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I would love to see more Resident Evil stuff, whether they're going to announce remakes of old Resident Evil games, if they're going to debut their Resident Evil 9. But I think Capcom likes to play that close to the chest, and I think that if Capcom is going to release anything Resident Evil, it's going to be at their state of play or their
That's the thing.
their showcase.
And I think that's one of the reasons why the state of play doesn't turn the needle, because PlayStation, just like Xbox, is kind of historically relied upon so many third-party titles to drive things, whereas Nintendo,
Very differently
all
from
of their
Nintendo.
all of their stuff is going to be at the Nintendo Direct, and they can announce whatever, whereas PlayStation has companies that want to do their own announcements and all of that. It's spread out way too much. So anyway, we'll see what happens. State of play tomorrow. Not a lot of anticipation for anything. It feels like it's going to be very generic, and they're going to try to move the discussion away from the disastrous PlayStation Network situation that happened this past weekend. But I guess we will see.